Brianna Lyman. Brianna, what was going on during the 4 years that this president was in office? Where was the press in reporting about his health and his mental acuity?
They were too busy covering that up. Jay Tapper and Alex Thompson released their book Original Sin this week, and they tried to pretend as though this was an expose of the massive cover up. But the fact remains the American people have known for 4 years that Joe Biden was cognitively declined. The only thing they didn't know was who, whether it was in the White House or Joe Biden's inner circle, was involved in that deception and cover up. And the only new piece of information that Tapper and Thompson could have offered us was names. And you know what they didn't give us? Names. They granted anonymity to so many of those inner circle people who were actively engaged in the cover up. And so you have them going on this media tour pretending like they care about accountability and exposing the cover up, when the fact remains they are only pushing it further by granting anonymity to people who need to be held accountable.
Yeah, so there was serious stuff going on. I mean, the office of the president is the most powerful in the world. Who was running it, if not Joe Biden?
I think your guess would be as good as mine. Apparently, there were 5 people who were kind of running a shadow government, and Joe Biden acted as merely just someone on the board. And I think what's really unfortunate is there seems to be a lack of an appetite of accountability from the Democratic Party. You hear from leaders like Hakeem Jeffries, we want to move forward. We are focused on the future. It's easy for them to say that when their political credibility is on the line. But when their party actively silenced people like Dean Phillips, who questioned Joe Biden's cognitive decline, one of the first Democrats to do so, when they said that the Robert Hur report was, that they attacked it, when Joe Biden froze on stage and they accused us of pushing cheap fakes, they don't get to dismiss that now as ancient history. They need to have serious accountability. And if they're unwilling to admit what they did and get to the bottom of this, I think it proves that they're willing to let it happen again. And that is a national security risk.
Didn't it really start before he was elected? I mean, while he was campaigning, basically from his basement during COVID, and the Democrats were afraid that Bernie Sanders was going to get the nomination, so they sort of propped up Joe Biden and said, this is going to be our guy because, he's perceived to be Uncle Joe, this friendly moderate that will be palatable to the American voter. Isn't that part of what happened here?
Absolutely. And that's why any defense that the left uses right now, whether it was we were too stupid because Joe Biden apparently gave a masterclass in deception, or wow, we just, we're too scared to speak out. Whatever their excuse is, it doesn't actually pass the smell test, because for 5 years, Americans have seen a cognitive decline and also a physical decline. And with this cancer diagnosis this week, we're only questioning whether or not Biden's inner circle knew about this